if I were to try to sell sell people on coming to my own piece, I would say it is a piece that deals with contemporary issues that we see in the news, but also that have been going on for a very long time about how people make a family and how power functions and people's relationship to their children. And I put it in a very, very intense environment, and it's both ensemble pieces and individual spotlights on individual people to try to create a sort of three-dimensional portrait of a very, very problematic situation, which I hope is also beautiful. I would also add to that, this is it's a story in which you are invited to see yourself in a lot of these characters in ways that you might find alarming, and in ways that you might find surprising,
Yeah.
and kind of, yes, they're sort of now in quotes other, but in a lot of ways there's so much shared information.
Right.
Um,
We were
Well,
trying
you
to
like anything under that amount of pressure, right? Like whether it's an issue that you are trying not to think about yourself or something, but you just spin it into this situation. Like, what would you do in this situation? You put it under this amount of pressure, and you kind of really get to examine what that is about you, right?
that's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's what happens when you turn up the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and we were trying to, it's hard to connect if you haven't grown up in something like that. So we're like, okay, well, how can we humanize this, make it more? What is something in your life where if somebody just came and told you, no, this is wrong, what you've been taught, or you don't have to live like this, that would just completely turn your life upside down? It's so interesting to think about that. What belief do we hold so dear that nobody could really shake it?
Like, if you want to be surrounded by this kind of
Sure.
celestial sound,
That is another reason to come, is because
yeah,
it's a big orchestral sound, but only 13 instruments.
only 13 instruments. Yeah.
Yeah, try to give it a little shimmer.
Yeah,
It's like,
you did.
it's also, I mean, another reason, I think another reason to go to it is just you really get to see actors who are encouraged to give everything to these very intense roles, that none of the roles are kind of filler. It's like it's a true ensemble piece, and everyone has something intense to do, feel, think, and act.
Yeah.
Something that's great about chamber opera is that, so it's sort of, if we think about a stereotypical grand opera, you're so incredibly far from what's happening. It's this gigantic orchestra in the way, and the people are all the way over there, and it's the vocal production is designed to fill, the equivalent of a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Whereas with chamber opera, you're so close to everything, and you're so able to see how it's done, and you're so able to see the bodies and the voices and the faces and everything. It's incredibly intimate, and incredibly intimate experience, and
Yeah.
it's a wonderful way to see opera, and it's a wonderful way to explore the human voice from, from a closeness.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. And with these characters where you're exploring so much depth and so much nuance with the humanity under this situation, like
Totally.
it's a good genre venue to experience.
Yeah, and our venue is beautiful. It's a 427 seat house. You were talking earlier about how sometimes in opera you can only, instead of going 1 to 10, you only go 5 to 10. We can go 1 in this house because it's so small.
That's
and
so cool. Yeah,
entire palette of your voice instead of just bend.
that's so great. I'm so sad I can't come. This is like